Hi art students. It's time for another week of art, but first we're going to do Godzilla of the Week, so here it is. This is Angurius. He's a toy. I have his tag on still. You keep the tag on like when you're a collector. People like him. But he's got all these spikes on his back. He's kind of cool. Detail. This particular Angurius is from Godzilla Final Wars. So he's a little more updated. There's kind of more funkier designs from the past. There we go. He's pretty cool. He's pretty sweet. He's back from 2004, which is before you were born. uh, anyways, that's it. That's it for Godzilla of the Week. So now let's get on to our art portion of the video. Hi, fourth graders. Today we're going to be working with Model Magic. It's this clay. It's air dry clay, so don't open your bag until we're ready. Hopefully you haven't opened your bag already. Your clay may have dried out. If your clay dried out, don't worry about it. I'm not going to send another one home. This is mainly for practice and to have fun. Why? Because this is difficult to grade. I don't want you to bring it to school. It's going to break. But I do want to see your projects. So you don't have to bring this to school. You're not going to get a grade for this. This is for practice and for fun. Because what's going to happen is when you're in 5th and 6th grade, we will be working with this. So it's like kind of preparing you for future years, and we can have fun, and you can be exposed to this new cool clay. If you haven't used this stuff before, it's pretty cool. I'm going to show you a couple different things to make. I'm going to show you a heart. So you can make the heart if you want. That'll be the easiest. You can make a little cute bear. I'm going to show you how to make a cute bear. And then if you just want to make whatever you want, you can make whatever you want. You can make an animal. You can make a narwhal. I kind of wanted to make a narwhal, but I'm just going to make the bear. So you can just make whatever you want. You just use your clay. Some things that you want to keep in mind, though, before you open this, you want to find some things that will help you make a stamp. Using stamps with Model Magic works really well. The most important is this, especially if you're going to do the heart. And you got to find these before you open your bag, because this thing's going to dry. But the thing about a brush, so this is just a brush. You might have a craft brush or like a painting brush around the house. But the tip is very rounded and smooth. This rounded, smooth end of the paintbrush is what I use to kind of like draw. So I'm going to draw designs in the heart with this. So this is probably the most important thing. So if you're going to do the heart, you definitely want to find this. This is also good for drawing designs. You can't scratch. You can't scratch into Model Magic. You can't use a paper clip. I mean, you can press in smoothly, but you can't scratch. It doesn't scratch. This clay is weird. It's not like normal clay. You can't scratch into it. But if it's round and smooth like this, you can create a texture. So find a paintbrush, an old paintbrush if you want. Another thing that's nice and smooth that probably will work pretty good is a popsicle stick. So again, this is kind of smooth and I can kind of carve. I'm not really carving or scratching. I'm just using it to impress. You kind of press in a texture on Model Magic. You can't really scratch. All right. What else can you do? Well, you can find pens. Like if you want to make eyes, like see this? It's like a stamp. Like I can press that in. I can press that into the clay and that'll make like an eye, or it'll make like a detail. I don't know if that's going to work very well. You can use clay to make eyes as well, too. But anything will work. Let's see. You can find, I don't know, plastic. These work pretty good for circles and pressing in if you need some kind of texture like that. But like I said, the easiest thing to use is a brush and a popsicle stick. So these work pretty well, but you can find whatever you think you need. Like I said, if you want to do circles like eyes, this might work. I don't know. I'm actually just going to draw my eyes with a Sharpie. So, but keep that in mind, okay? So if you're going to do the heart, definitely, definitely, you can use this paintbrush. Now, if you don't want to make a heart or you don't want to make a cute bear, you can only make one thing. So you have to choose, right? You can watch this video. If you're going to make your own thing, then I still want you to kind of watch these videos just to, or just watch it just to see how this clay works, especially at the beginning of the heart. You're going to see how you can't really do much with it. It's difficult. But you can watch most of it, and then like you can, if you're not going to make a bear, you can skip the bear, or you might want to watch part of it. You don't have to watch the whole video. It might be kind of long because I have to show you three different things. But if you're not going to make the bear, you can kind of skip the bear. Although I must say, like I said, I'm going to show you some techniques. Okay, so we're ready here. You got to open your bag. Once you open your bag, it dries pretty fast. Oh, look at this. I have to cut it. Oh, I got it. You can always cut it open, right? Now you don't get a lot, which is kind of a bummer. So you don't get a lot of clay. And let me show you how this works. This stuff, like you can't really smooth it. It's not like normal clay. Watch. If I turn this over, it might smooth a little bit, but like maybe, let's see if I can try to smooth out. See that wrinkle? Let's see if I can smooth it out. See how it doesn't really, well, it kind of worked, but a lot of times this stuff doesn't smooth out very well. Ooh, I smoothed it. It's because it's super fresh right out of the bag. But when this stuff starts to dry, you won't be able to smooth it out. I mean, it's pretty smooth. I don't know. It's not like normal clay. You can't, it's more like it leaves a skin. I don't know. Anyways, be aware of that. Okay, so first I'm making a heart. Now, if you have like a, I don't have a heart cookie cutter, but it might work. I'm just gonna make a heart. Now look at this. I got these marks here. I got to smooth out. Really, the best thing to do with this air dry clay is to knead it, meaning you're kind of using your hands to kind of move, like to press it into position. Let's see here. I got to make a heart. So I'm gonna try to form a heart, but remember, try not to overlap your clay because it's you can't really smooth it out. Let me try. You might be able to smooth it out a little bit. It is not easy. I'm going to use the table to kind of make an edge for my heart. There. It's pretty good. And then I kind of need to make, oh, it wasn't so hard. I'm pressing in here in the middle. It's not easy to mold this stuff. See how I got this rough edge? Let's see if I can smooth it out. Oh, it smooths out. It's kind of smoothing out. It doesn't smooth out perfectly. It's not, like I said, it's not like, you can't use water. Water's not going to smooth it out. It's not like normal clay. Water won't work. It's weird. I don't know what it is. It's made out of weird chemicals. It says it's safe. You know, it's non-toxic. Don't eat it, but I don't know. It's some kind of weird material. It's not normal. It's not like earth clay from the ground, right? But it appears that I can smooth it out a little bit. But remember, don't freak out if you can't smooth it out perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to make a heart. Now, the most important thing about the heart is the detail and the texture inside the heart. So I did it. Now, if you don't really care what you want to do, a heart is a nice thing to do. Okay, so you want to kind of press it down. You want to make it kind of flat as you can. You know, if I got a book, let's see. Oh, well, I got this book. See if I can flatten it out a little more. It might help. Yeah. A cookie cutter might have made it perfect. Like if I had a heart cookie cutter. But, you know, it may or may not work. I don't know. But I made a heart, right? I made it. You can kind of make that in. Now, here's what we want to do. Let's see. I got to look at my, I have a picture I'm looking at on the internet. And so what we can do is we can carve some real beautiful like designs inside the heart. So I'm kind of looking, and you can, whoa, focus. Okay, I can't really, okay, here we go. Oh, dude, nice. Focus. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I guess you can hold it like this, but I'm going to hold it like this. And I'm just going to press in some designs. There, see? And you can't really carve it in. It won't carve. I'm copying a picture on the internet. And there, I'm kind of doing some wavy designs. I'm going to kind of do, I don't know, some kind of leafy patterns. You can copy exactly what I'm doing, or you can just kind of make it up. You can just use some beautiful, oh, I hit the camera. That was funny. Um, let's see if I go this way so I don't hit the camera. But this is a nice, this is a good way to get a nice design. Let's see, there's some little like, these are like, I don't know what you call these things. They're like little leafy. I'm kind of pressing in. But really, there's not, you can't carve into this thing. You can definitely do stuff like this. There's like a little leaf here. You can double up some designs, like I can like some curves here. I can kind of double it up. There. And then another thing, let's see, another thing we can do is we can use this to kind of make some dots. And so in my picture that I'm looking at, they kind of press in. Don't press in too far, but you do want to press in, I don't know, how much is that? 20% in? Nah, it's more like 25%. What happens is when it dries, it's kind of like a foam. This is like a foam clay. The details kind of flatten out a little. So you definitely do need to kind of press in. You need to press in a decent amount, maybe a little more than you think, because it's like foam when it dries, and like some of these details will kind of go away. So you kind of got to press in a little bit. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put some of these dots over here, kind of like a design, like a stitch almost. Okay, and then let's see here. Am I done? One thing you can do is if I have a bigger brush, let's see. Oh, shoot, where is it? Oh, here it is. Another thing you can do is I'm going to punch a hole. That's not going to be a very big hole. I'll start with this bigger brush though, and you can just punch it in right. Now, don't do it too close to the edge because then it'll break. I'm going to do it like right here. I'm going to punch in a hole, and then that way I can put a string or a ribbon through it, right? Like I can hang it like an ornament. Now that's not very big. I guess I can press this in further. There, that's pretty good. So now I can put a ribbon on it. Like the picture I'm looking at, they have like a nice ribbon and they can hang it on something. So, okay. And then let's see, is that good? Okay. I can add some more details. Let's see. I want this to look more. It's not easy. It's pretty good. I'm going to put some right here. Okay. So there it is. Now, the more details you add, I want to get a thinner detail. Will this give it to me? Kind of. So different stamps will give you different textures. That's a little thinner. When you design like this, you want to repeat stuff. You don't just want to do some dots on the top and then that's it. Like here you can see I kind of repeated it. Here I repeated this. It's kind of like their little notches. I kind of repeated them here. I don't know. That's pretty good. Okay, so then what I'm going to show you very soon is how to apply a wash. You know, maybe I'll just show you right now. Now you don't have to paint it, but what happens is because if you do a lot of stamping, like if you use a lot of stamps, whether they are oh, I don't know, like pens or this brush or whatever, and you put a watery paint on it, craft paint, acrylic paint, it will get in the cracks and it won't get as much on the outer edge, and it'll look kind of nice. Like the darker color will get in the cracks. We'll give it a try. Before I do that real quick, let me just show you some other stamping. Let's see if this works. Stamp. Does that look like an eye? Kind of, not too good. Let's do this one. Oh, kind of. I don't know. I probably could have used some of these here. I'm gonna try it. I don't know if it's gonna look very good. I'm gonna do some of these. Maybe I'll put some over here. Yeah. If you're gonna do something, repeat it, right? Don't just do like a couple little circles and then that's it. You want to repeat it so the design kind of flows. In fact, I want some more of these marks over here. I'm kind of adding a lot of little marks because we're going to put a wash on it. Okay, now normally you'd let this dry. This would probably dry in like 10 minutes or maybe 15. I don't know. You'll see. It'll get kind of hard, like a hard marshmallow. but because we don't have that time to wait, I'm gonna try to paint it. Now, I'm not sure if this paint's gonna work. It's pretty watery. Now, you can use craft paint. If you have craft paint at home, go for it. Like stuff you get at Michael's. Maybe your mom has some craft paint. You don't have to do this. This is just optional, but this will look real nice on our heart if you did a heart. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure if I got the right consistency of this paint. Oh yeah. See? Okay, so let's go for it. So I'm gonna try not to get on the table. But the paint is watered down. In fact, I think I could have had a little bit more paint in there. But it gets in the cracks, and that's a nice effect. They call that a wash. or at least that's what guys who paint wargaming miniatures call it. I paint a lot of wargaming miniatures. They call it a wash. And what it does is the watery paint gets into the cracks and it kind of stays there. And it's a little darker in there and it looks real nice. Now, is this going to dry well? I don't know. Let's find out. It looks really good right now, but when it dries, it may not be as dark in the cracks. So you might have to either do it again. Like you really kind of want to get it, you almost kind of get it in there. And then just walk away and let it dry. There, it's kind of cool. So it may not stay in the cracks. Like it may dry. Like it may not, like right now it's really dark, but it might dry and it may not be perfect. So what you could do later, if it's not totally perfect, you can just get a little less watery paint and you can just try to get in the cracks and you can try to wipe it off a little. Or, I mean, I could probably, let's see if it'll work. The problem is it's going to sponge up. Like I can very carefully try to, if you put it in the paint, it'll sponge it up. See, so you don't want that, but I could maybe press a little bit on top to kind of wipe away some of this. But try not to sponge up the paint, because it'll sponge right up out of that crack. That might help. It's kind of a pink. But anyways, that's something you might see, but it's already, look at this, see it's already drying here. So you might just have to go back in and paint the cracks. Or just do another. But that might look good. Hopefully it will. Okay, so I'm going to move this thing out of the way. So that's if you want to paint it. Okay, so if you didn't want to, I'm going to move it away. Okay, that's number one. If you didn't want to do a heart or you don't want to paint anything, you don't have to. You don't have to do the heart. But the heart's a nice, easy, fun way to be introduced. And if you don't really care and you're like, oh, I want to do a heart for Valentine's Day, go for it. And hopefully that worked. But really, you can make anything. Like here you can see I made a snowman. Originally, I was thinking of doing something like this for Christmas time, but things got in the way. We didn't do it. Now, here's the thing. Normally, when you use Model Magic, they actually have different colors. But it's really difficult to send home a little bit of each color because it'll dry, right? I have to put it in a bag and it might dry. But like you could buy different colors. Like I could have used orange and black. Black is usually expensive to buy. Like I couldn't find it, and it dries. So, but anyways, you could paint. So you could use different color Model Magic. That's what Miss Lee does. She did. Maybe you did it. A sushi project, sushi, and she would have like pink and greens, and you would kind of, and it works. But for this, you can just do it in white. You don't have to paint it, but you can paint this. You can use craft paints. You can use so if your mom has craft paints from Michael, basically, or acrylic paint. Acrylic is paint that you can clean up with water. So if you have like little bottles of acrylic paint, like I mean, I have this little bottle of acrylic paint. This is for miniatures, right? But maybe you have craft paints. They're like bigger. They're like kind of taller. I have some on my table, but I can't grab them. So maybe you have some craft paint from Michael's. Yeah, you can paint. You can paint this thing. If you want to paint it solidly, like if I wanted to paint this nose, I would just paint it. I wouldn't use a lot of water. I would just paint that orange, you know, his buttons maybe black. I'd maybe paint he's got like a fedora here, a hat. I could paint that maybe black or brown and stuff like that. But you could just leave it white too. Anyways, here's something I made. How did I make it? I budgeted I'll show you when we do the bear. I'm going to do the bear, And whoa, focus. And I'll show you, you have to budget. Like you have to kind of, like you separate your little pieces and make sure you have enough for every piece before you start putting it together. Oh, and one more thing. If you make a clay little sculpture like this, and it can be whatever you want it to be. If a piece breaks off, I'm not going to break it off, but like if this part, you really want to stick it together so it stays. Um, but if it breaks off, you can glue this with regular Elmer's glue. This stuff glues pretty well with Elmer's glue, just white glue. So like if his nose broke off, I could glue it back on with Elmer's glue. That's pretty nice. So this is pretty easy to work with. Okay, so let's do the bear. First, let me let me find my internet picture of the bear. Let's see. Oh shoot, it's this one. Hold on. Let's see. I'm looking. Oh my gosh, he's way down the list here. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, I'm going down the list. Whoa. That's not him. Here it is. I finally found it. Oh, weak. Okay, so I found him. Okay, so now we're gonna, so here's my second one. So again, if you don't want to make a cute bear, skip past this part, right? It's gonna be a long video. Okay, so I'm gonna cut out my clay. The first thing I want to do is, ooh, look at this. This one, it's kind of rough, right? It's rough. I might be able to smooth it a little. Let's find out. I hope so. Ooh. Okay, yuck. Well, maybe this will help me show you how challenging this stuff can be. So we want to budget our clay. Budget our clay meaning we only have so much clay to work with, right? It's not very much. Okay, so let's see. This bear, his head is huge because he's cute. So, so half of the clay is going to be his head. Let's see, is that enough? You want to make a ball. Let's see here. So you just kind of roll it. You can roll it on the table. Hopefully you've used Play-Doh before. It's like Play-Doh. But look, it's kind of hard to smooth out. Let's see if I can smooth it out. Remember, water doesn't work. Let's see, is that big enough? Could probably make it bigger, but I'm gonna, so I don't know. I got about that much for his head. I might have extra. I might have extra clay, and that's okay. Okay, so there's his head. I need that much. His body is small. His body's only gonna be like this. I have like way extra clay. That's okay. So his body is like way smaller than his head. It's almost like it's like this much. So remember, I'm kind of budgeting it, right? I'm budgeting the clay. And then, boy, I've got a lot extra. Like I need something for his ears. Like his ears are probably going to be about this big. If you have extra clay like me, like I'm going to have extra clay, then you don't have to be so worried about budgeting your clay. Budget meaning you have to make sure you have enough clay. Because if you run out, I can't send you more clay. If you mess up with this stuff, this stuff's expensive. It's hard to send home and it's practice. So if you mess up, don't worry about it. I'm not going to send you another packet. Sorry. Have your parents buy you some more. It's fun. It's fun to play with, but... So, I don't know. I need about this much for his ears. They're going to be about that big. See, I'm going to have way extra clay. That's okay. I need about this much for his arm. His arm, well, maybe less than that. It's almost about the same length as his body. So let's say I need another arm. Let's see here. So about like that. And remember, we'll be adjusting these things soon. Let's see, so arms. Oh, his legs are even, well, they're kind of shorter. I'm just going to make it similar in size. So there it is. And then, okay, here we go. I don't know, about like that. And then I have a lot of extra clay, so that's okay. I under budgeted, right? But I guess it's better to have a little extra clay. I can make like a top hat if I want, or I can make maybe another small creature with this, whatever. But anyways, you want to kind of budget it. So I've got like the biggest part is the head. It's actually bigger than his body. The body's only like half. We got arms, we got ears, legs, and then I have a little extra for a tail and stuff like that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is you want to make the head really smooth. Let's see here. That's not easy task. Like it does smooth a little bit, but you can't use water. Water's not going to work. You just have to very carefully knead it and rub it, you know, until like this is really hard to get rid of. So if I can't get rid of that, maybe I'll just put that on the bottom because that's where his body's going to go. Look, he's got a little mark here. It's not easy. Okay, and then his head is kind of flattened, kind of like an oval. Like watch, it's kind of like a pillow, but rounded. So it's not a perfect sphere. And then you can use the table to kind of like kind of round it. That might help you. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm trying to make it all perfect. Okay. Use your fingers. They call it knead. You know, you're kneading it. K-N-E-E-D? Or is it E-A-D? I don't know. Look, I got a little dimple there. That's no good. But I am going to put a little piece for his nose there. So I think that's going to cover it up. Okay. Ooh. Okay, now ears. Ears are going to be smaller circles. You want to make sure they're kind of the same size. If they're not the same size, you can get a little extra clay, you know, and then add it to make it a little bigger. But you want them to be, and then you can try to smooth it out. It doesn't smooth out very well. Okay, so ears. Let's see. They look pretty good. Okay, so one's going to go here. And you want to kind of stick it on pretty good. It it doesn't blend. You can't really blend it. Like there's going to be a little seam there, but that's okay. Let's see. I kind of squashing it a little. All right. And then this one, let's see. Look, there's a line. It's hard to see. So maybe I can turn it around so that doesn't show up very well. Let's see. Okay, and I want to get it on the right other side, just right. Okay. Got it. Sound effects help, by the way. I'm just kidding. Okay, and I'm kind of squishing it. So it's not a ball. It's you know, it started as a ball, but then I kind of squished it in, so it's more of like a I don't know, like a round pillow, I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Okay, and then he needs. I have a little extra budgeted clay. He needs a little kind of like a circle for his nose. So it's gonna be kind of like this. Okay, and then it's kind of like I'm not a diamond, but it's a little. You want to kind of flatten it so it's kind of flat. Kind of like a rounded diamond. Let's see. I'm going to put it right here. Let's see. And then, but it needs to be bigger. I'm going to flatten it a little. I'm going to kind of put it on there. There. Oh, it's hard. It's not easy. It's kind of flat. So you can see it's kind of flat. We're going to draw on eyes and then a little nose here. So that looks pretty good. Looks kind of like a pig. That's not good. Okay, well there's that. There's that piece. Now his body. His body is well, shoot. See, I got to smooth it out. Ooh, it's not smoothing out. I told you, ain't easy. I told you the heart was easier. The heart was like, okay, so you have to try to smooth this as best you can. It doesn't always smooth perfectly. Worst case scenario, just find this like for the front of his um, body, you want to find the smoothest part. Notice how I'm using my fingers to kind of press in and kind of mold it. This is practice. This is not. If you haven't played with a lot of clay and Play-Doh, this is something you got to learn. But anyways, it's good practice. And if you don't like your results, don't worry about it. Then we just practiced. You learned, right? You learned this. It's not easy. Look at this. There's like a little mark there. Oh, see, it's hard to smooth out. That's the problem with air dry clay. Like normal clay, you just totally smooth that out, no problem. Okay, so now his body is going to be, it's going to be like this. Kind of in the back. I'm going to press it in, kind of near the back. Let's see. And he's got like a, oh, boy, the internet made this look so easy. Okay, so he's kind of like that. All right. Now we need legs. So here are the legs. And the legs are like cylinders. So I can kind of round, you can maybe round it a little, but then these parts have to be kind of flat. You kind of press in, kind of like a marshmallow. It's kind of like a little marshmallow. In fact, it's going to look exactly like a marshmallow. You can kind of press in. Like I press in, I flatten that a little. Yeah, it's totally like a marshmallow. Here, I'm going to make another one. I'm going to press on the top and the bottom while I'm rolling it. that's like years of experience talking. You can roll it here. You can press it on the table. Fingers, help to flatten. All right, here we go. Marshmallow, total marshmallow. So his legs, he's kind of like this. He's like, doo. Okay, he's gonna sit like that. Maybe you can maybe put him forward a little bit. His arms are gonna, whoa, his arms are gonna be in front. Okay, so let's do the arms now. So his arms are gonna be more rounded, and we might have to make them a little smaller. They're kind of just like this. Let's see. Ooh, that's almost too big. So if it's too big, I can take a little clay away, but be careful when you do it because then you have to kind of smooth it a little. Let's see. It's gonna go like, ooh, I think I need to take out some of my clay. Let's see. Ugh. I think that's okay. It's kind of in front of his tummy. All right. Here's my other arm. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I need that much clay. The trick is making them the same size, like the arms. Like that's not easy. When you do sculpture in the computer, you just make an arm and you duplicate it and just put it over there. Real clay, you have to. This looks a little too small. I'm gonna add a little bit, maybe to the back. I'll add it because you won't see it. But look, it's hard to smooth, but I need that. I need it to be a little bigger. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see, he's kind of like this. I don't know, man. That was not easy. Okay, I'm gonna give him a tail. Just like a ball. It'll help him stand up too. I don't know. I have extra clay, so I mean I could technically make him a hat or something. Okay, now you would let this dry, but because I'm making a video, I'm just gonna go for it and see if I can get it to work. So there he is. He's kind of cute. The internet picture is way cuter. That person was experienced at making cute bears, but this is close. Okay, so let's see here. Here we go. Let this dry. It'll probably take like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just going to go for it. Let's see. So he's got a cute little eyeball right here. And then he's got one over here. Sharpie, by the way. Sharpie works. Paint will work, but a Sharpie works really good for this. Okay, I got to get the other eye just right. The problem is if you mess up, it's like, oh well, too bad. And then for this, oh boy, let's see. It's kind of like this. And then it has kind of, there's like a little mark here. Kind of like a Y. Well, I don't know. Is he cute enough for you? I don't know. Again, it was practice. It was practice. So there, I can't really put him. He looks like that. So we had the body. I gave him a little tail for support. He has to dry. I'm surprised how long it's taking to dry, so that's kind of nice. It does give you a little extra time. Now, let's say you just want to make whatever you want. Go for it. Like, I don't care. Oh, look, let me just show you one more thing, though. I'm gonna try to, I got this popsicle stick. I want to see if I can put a little dent in his ear. Oh yeah, look at that. So think of stamps and things you can find. There's a nice curve on this popsicle stick. Let's see here. The original design of this on the internet that I was looking at, they didn't do that with the ears. I can do it on his little feet too. I can kind of do a little bit around there. So it's kind of like his foot is kind of rounded there. I don't know. Do you have to do that? No, I'm just giving you ideas. I mean, really, you can do whatever you want. But it's nice to have stamps and things like that to add some details. There's my little polar bear. I guess he's a polar bear because he's white, right? I guess I could paint him, but I don't want to. I like him as a polar bear. Okay, so there he is. Now, if you wanted to make other things, I mean, I got all this extra clay. I could make another creature. I could make a hat. I'm going to make him a quick hat. Now, I'd have to paint it. But just let me show you some techniques on how this air dry clay stuff works. So I'm going to make another marshmallow. He's going to kind of have like a top hat. So I'm kind of I could round it here. I could press down here, right? But let me show you this. I need to make the focus. I need to make the brim of the hat. So maybe I'm going to start with a ball or a sphere. And then you can just press it down and it'll become flat. Let's see if it's big enough. I'm going to press down. So I started with a sphere, but I pressed down, it kind of gave me this shape. It's like a saucer, right? Let's see, is that big enough? I don't know if that's big enough for a top hat. I think I need to make a bigger sphere. Okay, I'm going for it. Bigger sphere. Okay, here we go. So make a sphere. Okay, so a sphere. Okay, and then I'm going to press down. Press down, so it's like a saucer. All right, that looks better. Before I can even make it flatter. Whoa, it sticks to this, like it sticks to itself, like pretty fast, so don't be careful. Now, but let me show you this though. I want to make a ribbon around, so I'll make like a snake, I guess. But let me show you how this works. What happens is this air dry clay, it doesn't smooth out very well and it creates a skin, which sometimes is good. So here I made like a snake, I guess, but I want to flatten it out. Here, I'll use this to flatten it out. I'll just press it down so it's kind of more flatter. There. See how it's kind of flatter? Maybe even flatter. I hope it's long enough to go around. But when I put it on this hat, it's going to be like a skin. Oh, I didn't reach. I'm gonna stretch it out. There. So that'll be the back. But it creates, see how it creates like a bump or a skin? And that's typical with air dry clay. Air dry clay. Okay, and then let's see. I almost think this is too big now. That's funny. Isn't that funny? This is too big. I'm going to get rid of some of that. Round it out. Flatten it again. Shoot. Okay. Squish. I want it to be thin, like a thin saucer. Like a pizza. There we go. Okay, and then I want to have a dent. I can just use my finger to dent it in. There we go. Now I could paint this first and then I can glue it on. I'm just going to put it on here. He's got a hat. Hat. Okay. Okay, so there he is. Maybe press this down a little. Okay, so it's up to you. Creating things, you can do whatever you want, but send me a picture with your creation, especially if you did something weird and fun. Let me show you one more thing though before we close. You don't have to paint your project, but if you want to, if you have craft paints, go for it. He's like a polar bear, so I wouldn't paint him, but maybe I'd paint his hat. I'd probably paint the hat first and then glue it on with Elmer's glue. Although it is nice to just stick it on and then I can paint it, but you have to be careful not to paint. Like I'd have to be careful not to paint the bear, and that can be kind of hard to do. Just let me quickly show you one more thing about this air dry clay and how it works if you've been watching this long. Remember how, like say you want to make an eye. You can start with a sphere, press it down, right? And then if you want to do a pupil, you make a smaller sphere, press it down. And so here it's like a ball on top, right? But then you can press it down, right? And it kind of sticks on. This stuff, and so like I said, it creates that skin or that mark. It's hard to do. And then another thing I could do is if I want to make a flower. Here, I'm moving this guy out of the way. If you want to make a flower or a detail, you can make petals and then like overlap them on top of each other. Or this might work for scales. Let's see here. But it's gonna create these marks. Like you can't really smooth this stuff out, but you can use it to your advantage in a design. This stuff's complicated. You're like, wow, Mr. Smith, that's way more complicated than I wanted it to be. I know. But sometimes having that little skin mark is kind of a nice look. I mean, you can imagine if I painted this or if I was using, like when you make flowers, that's where you use different colors. You don't use white. Like you would use pink and orange and yellow. And you can get these beautiful flowers, but these petals are like separate. Let's see. Let me see if I can get one more. That's 5, right? And I could put something in the middle. I could use texture. I can texture it. I don't know. I could pull these out. So I don't know. Work with it and have some fun. It'll dry. I'm surprised at how long this lasted. It didn't dry up as fast as I remember. Probably because my bag was kind of fresh. Hopefully your bag is fresh and you'll have a long, you can be able to play with it. But here's what I recommend. Don't like start and stop. Don't squish it and then try again because you have all those skins like this, right? It'll be hard to smooth them out. It's better just to be careful and try to create something. I created a bear. I created this heart. Let's see how the heart's doing. Here's the heart. Oh, here it comes. It's still not dry. I'm really shocked. You would paint it later when it's dry. So there. So I made the heart. The heart's easy if you just I made the bear. You can make whatever you want. You can make a Godzilla or a narwhal or I don't care, a face, a head. I don't care. Have fun. Have fun. Take a picture of it and show it to me. But you don't have to turn this in. Why? Because it'll break. This is brittle stuff. So once you make it, you can put it on your desk or whatever, or show your parents or whatever. Put a ribbon on it if you got a little hole there, or do whatever you like with it. But take a picture of it and send it to me. I want to see what kind of creations you made. This is practice and for fun, practice for future years. It was difficult to make a big project that I wanted to grade out of such a small amount of clay, but I really wanted you to learn about it and to have fun with it if you haven't used this yet. Next year, we'll do a clock and we'll do other things with it. We'll get more clay and we'll do interesting things. But for now, this is just a practice. So don't worry about bringing it back to school. Just keep it at your desk. But send me a picture. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what your creation was. And if you have extra, you can play around with it. And then if it dries, you can just throw it away. So, but that's it for today. I hope you had fun. I'm curious what you made. If I was a student, I would be like, oh, I'm making an animal. I'm not making like that cute bear or that heart. I'm going to make like a platypus or something. Like I would make something weird. But you can make whatever you like. I just did these to show you if you don't know what to make, you're like, make a heart or make the bear. Or make whatever you like. Have fun. Have fun, and I'll see you around. Hopefully I'll see you at school soon, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend. Bye.